I'm so glad to see you guys. So many of you are wearing green. It's lovely. Happy St. Patty's Day. We do have extra green bling, courtesy of Denise. If you don't have green, you are welcome to it out in the lobby. I'm waiting for my thumbs up, and then we will begin. Thumbs up. All right. Welcome to Kansas City Oasis. My name is Julie Manning. I'll be your hostess and MC for today. And we are Kansas City Oasis here live in Kansas City, Missouri. I am happy to have you here today. We are in our very own building for those of you who have not joined us before. I see a couple new faces today. We are a secular alternative to faith-based communities, and we're welcoming everybody, humans, maybe no fur babies today. Regardless of beliefs or non-beliefs, race, gender, sexual orientation, identities, or any other trait. We feel the human experience is better when it's shared. And we are very pleased to have you with us here on this beautiful, maybe a little chilly morning. We center today around our 5 core values. People are more important than beliefs. Reality is known through reason. Human hands solve human problems. Meaning comes from making a difference. Be accepting and be accepted. Today's program, we have Zachary Mallory, Gun Violence Rippling Effects on Our Communities. Musician, joining us in just a few moments, is Holly Taylor. And our community moment is Jeff Carey. We are going to go straight to Holly. Is going to play some music for us. Holly, please join us. While she comes up, you guys can read a little bit about Holly. Please give her a round of applause. She's going to start off with 2 songs for us.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here with you this morning. Well, the first song I want to play for you this morning is actually the very first song that I wrote in my songwriting journey. Just out of college, I went to UMKC here, so I consider myself partly a Kansas Cityan, even though I'm out in Lawrence right now. I could paint a portrait of colors of my life in shades of black and white and yellow, green and purple, red and orange and blue. Knowing I'd be satisfied with the picture-perfect scenes playing inside my mind as I bide my time with you. And I could sculpt a forest lush with gardens on a mountain in the middle of the ocean, an oasis far away, surrounded by my safety nets, loved ones I will not forget, living in their presence. I'll dance and play the night away, and I close my eyes, see the colors dancing through the night, and I realize paradise exists within my mind. I fantasize, feel the love circling around my life. I internalize the tangibility of hope within. Sunset stretched around my flesh, feel the warmth of the colors pressed into my very being. Sunlight permeates my soul, moonstone caves illuminate the depth of waterfall cascades, fantastical display, rainbow lightning in the sky. And I close my eyes, see the colors dancing through the night, and I realize paradise exists within my mind. I fantasize, feel the love circling around my life. I internalize tangibility of hope within. People joined across this land, and messages of freedom found in the catharsis of joy unbound. Messages of freedom found in the catharsis of joy unbound. Can you see him finding hope? Can you see him finding love? Can you see him feeling peace? Can you see him finding joy? Floral patterns swirling tease, the ribbon banners in the trees, Children learn that life is free. These dewdrops dancing on the leaves, gentle rhythms rocking my soul. The voices humming, ebb and flow. Ocean poems ride the tide. Peace within my heart resides, and I close my eyes. See the colors dancing through the night, and I realize paradise is within my mind. I fantasize, feel the love circling around my life. I internalize tangibility of hope in hand. And people joined across this land with the messages of freedom found in a catharsis of joy unbound. Messages of freedom found in a catharsis of joy unbound. Can you see him finding hope? Can you see him finding love? Can you see him feeling peace? Can you see him feeling joy? Thank you. So part of my work at UMKC was learning about music therapy, and so I took that journey for a long time. And where I landed with it after doing it in different places in the community, in hospitals and schools and everywhere, is really music therapy comes through, from the songwriter out to the audience as well. So this song is called Soul on the Line, and this is really about that relationship between one person to another. How can we justify the distance of another author's word? It's all they know of our existence. There's a longing to be heard. Where will the borderline be drawn to define who stands as one? Remember the darkness lends to dawn, and a new day of a guardian. Of a guardian. Can we be comfortable in chaos, even just for a little while? Can we stand the test of silence when our soul is on the line? How long can we stand here still, fate in suspended time, until these empty pages die? How can we justify the distance of another author's word? It's all they know of our existence. There's a longing to be heard. Where will the borderline be drawn to define who stands as one? Remember the darkness lends to dawn, and a new day of a guardian. And I feel the stirring of the truth, and I see the light shining through. I hold the silence of time when my soul is on the line. I stand and stare into a clearing. Darkness is plain as day. I take a step, no longer fearing. There's always another way through the gateway of this sentinel. Ranger of my soul, I know the path of love to healing. Through the shadows and the holes, spinning in the light, dancing in the flow of a river of harmony. And all there is to know, to love life, is to embrace all of life. We'll walk by day and we'll learn through the nights. I feel the stirring of the truth, and I see the light shining through. I hold the silence of time soul is on the line. I stand knowing in the truth, and I see the light shining through. I hold the silence of time, fate in suspended time. All right, thank you all so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Holly. All right, we will have more music from Holly very shortly. Stick around for that. Birthdays this week, we have Heath Church. I know you guys know Heath. He's one of our musicians and also a member who comes to visit us pretty frequently. So please wish Heath a happy birthday when you see him on March 20th. Anybody else in the audience have birthdays this week? Anybody? Okay, if you change your mind and you're like, wait, I do have a birthday, let us know. We will love to wish you a happy birthday. And we are sad to announce the passing of Kevin Lambert's mother, Arl Lambert. So please send your love out to Kevin and Julie. And of course, we send our love to their family during that tough time. But from Kevin shared a little bit that his mother was just a wonderful, loving person. And they were very happy to share so many wonderful memories with her. So, okie doke. What? Here we go. Oh, sorry, this is a surprise. Hold on. Okay, we had a parade yesterday. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to have a couple people come join me. Denise Decker, please come up. She's not coming up. She's going to adore us from afar. Terry, please come up. Sarah, are you here today? I think Sarah's probably recuperating. Nate Bailey, are you here? And Gary, I think I saw Gary. Come on up. We have a small crew today because everyone's home resting after our parade. So for those of you who can see this amazing photo here, we had a very amazing crew for our Dino Parade. You're like, why did we do a Dino Parade? That seems strange. So Snake Saturday, right before St. Patrick's Day, we participate in a Dino-themed parade because we can, mostly. And we are trying to raise money for Oasis. And we did. Nate, show them the goods. Show them the goods. Guys, we got $2,000. Yeah. So we wanted to thank a couple people here. So Terry, in the amazing green, was our music and battery king. Susan is not here. She's in a different country. We'll let her be on vacation. Denise, Mark, and Sally were amazing with our float construction. I don't know if you saw the slideshow before. There's some amazing pictures of our float. We'll show you more later. They worked really, really hard on that float. Denise in the back, wave Denise, was the queen of the dinos. So we had 31 dinos, and then also 17 volunteers doing all the other things like passing out candy. We had 2 little mini dinos, and they were amazing. So can we give a round of applause for our little mini dinos? I think our youngest was 1.5 years old. Shout out to them and their parents. I know Jason was here also helping with photos. Jason and Terry coordinated a lot of our AV stuff. Nate, of course, is our board liaison. Thank you, Nate, for all of that. And he was really helpful in a lot of, I know you're going to talk in just a second, a lot of the meetings that had to happen, especially at the end of the stuff. He had to go and collect the checks. I'm sure some of that was probably not as fun as the actual parade itself. Sarah Geelan is our board president, and she helped to do things like get the candy and a lot of the handouts that we passed to the people in the parade. So hopefully we'll have some new people coming soon. Anybody here because you heard about the parade? Maybe not yet. You were at the parade. Okay, gotcha. And then bling. So we have all our bling in the back. That was from Denise, and then also Mark and Sally. So Mark and Sally are cleaning their car because they were the ones who had to drive the truck yesterday. All right, so Nate's going to tell us. Oh, and then did I say Gary was our driver? He didn't run over anyone. So, yes. And that, it's like, okay, we're going, we're stopping. We're going, we're stopping. He did all amazing job, Gary. Okay, Nick's gonna say a few things.
So yes, $2,000, fourth place again, second year in a row. That is fantastic. We are so excited. When Denise started this off, she was the one who said, hey, we should make this a regular Oasis thing. And it has so far been a resounding success. People love it. The kids love it. So many kids trying to high five us because dinosaurs are lucky. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true. Who said that? I don't know. Me? No. But yes, we are so excited to be doing that with tabling. It's our outreach to the community to help expand the community and to help share what we all experience here and love with people who may not know that this even exists. If you are interested in that we're not able for any reason to go to this parade, we are planning on doing it next year. But in the more near term, we are doing Harry's Day, which is going to be in Grandview. That is another parade that is going to be coming up in May, early May. I think it's the 2nd through the 4th. Don't quote me on that. But we are also going to be doing other tabling events throughout the spring, summer, and fall. So please put that in your brain that you can help out with those things. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're so excited. Hope you guys come next year.
Yay! All right, very good. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming up to join us. So when you see those other leaders for our Dino Parade, please make sure you say thank you to them. We really appreciate all of their help. And we're going to continue over a couple announcements just about our upcoming events, Vine Street Brewery. So those of you who are available for an Oasis happy hour, you do not have to be a participant in the boozing if you do not choose to. They have non-alcoholic beverages as well. But Vine Street is our first Black-owned brewery in the Midwest, if you did not know that. So they have food and neighboring business in the same building. We're going to start at 5:30, but you can come whenever you can. So we'd love to have you there. We do have a QR code in the back if you'd like more info about that timeline. We also have coming up on our service Sunday here on the 31st, we're going to be having our Kansas City's very own blood drive in our first building blood drive here. So we'll have the blood drive experts set up here in the main area, and then in the back, we'll have karaoke because we can, right? Why not? And then we also are going to be having one of our Oasis gurus help us donate a period product. They're going to tell us more about that because that's not my area of expertise. But if you have information, how do I want to phrase that? Please bring your period product. So things like maxi pads, tampons, they need donations for that. So we're going to be sending you guys more information about exactly what types of products they need. But it's going to be a drive to get those items into the schools for students who do not have those products available in their homes. So more information about that is available on our QR codes. And then if you would like to register a slot for them to take your blood willingly, only willingly, make sure you get those veggies in and we will take your blood like the vampires we are. And then we'll sing about it, I think Sarah and I have some tongue-in-cheek songs picked out for you. All right. And then we're going to celebrate with Seth Andrews. That's not September. April 7th, Seth Andrew is returning. So if you have not heard Seth Andrews speak, he is returning first Sunday in April. This is going to be a very big event, so make sure you mark your calendars now. We do hope you'll be here for it. If you did miss that first time he was in here in July. That is back on our Oasis YouTube channel. So you can see that first talk he did, and he'll be talking to us about Seth Andrews versus God. Who is the better intelligent designer? So bring a friend. Come early. All right, and more fun. If you thought dinos were fun, we are going to have Denim and Diamonds Gala. This is a family-friendly event celebrating our 10-year anniversary. So we are all looking forward to this to celebrate our birthday. So we are going to have this here at Oasis, and we're going to have a DJ, we'll have prizes, a raffle ticket, family-friendly. You can wear anything from, hey, here's my favorite grungy denim pants or jacket or whatever, to look at this amazing ball gown I have. Or mix and match, wear denim and diamonds, whatever suits your fancy. We want you to be comfortable and fancy and whatever combo of both. Please join us. Okay, what else we got? Our weekly newsletter. This is super helpful. If you like to have those informations I just gave you delivered straight to your email box, this will help you do so. We've got a QR code in the back to help you sign up for that. Community moment. Jeff is going to show you how it's done here momentarily. You can sign up for those community moments. QR code again in the back. You can talk to me about community moment. If you're not sure what to talk about, I will interview you and tell you what good ideas we can come up with. We are just encouraging everybody this season to share your story. We all have interesting things to talk about, and we'd love to hear yours. And with that, Jeff Carey describes himself as open-minded, curious, optimistic, and warning he is allergic to dogma. So, Jeff, here you are.
Thank you. All right, so first thing I want everybody to think about is conflict. In your lives, interpersonal conflict, what kind of comes to mind when you think about that? Even further, community, nations, the world. So, conflict is all around us, and it's usually thought as a negative thing. So I want to try to reframe that a little bit today and talk about conflict as something that can be managed and something that can be thought about differently. So the way I come to this, I've spent my professional career as an attorney dealing with people in conflict of all kinds of different types. As I've gotten kind of towards the tail end of my career, I've really taken an interest in learning about other ways to deal with conflict. I have a very limited tool set as a lawyer, okay? So in the last year, I've had about 75 hours of mediation training to help people resolve conflicts. And I've done a lot of independent study and thinking about conflict in general as a theory. And at the base of it, these two have the potential for serious conflict right here. But if you think about it, we are all individuals with our own perspectives, with our own needs. We start very innocent, mostly able to get along, occasionally going to fight over the toy. But, we have, at our base level, I believe we are all humans and that we treat each other as humans independent of beliefs. But as these two kids and all of us proceed through life, you're going to have ego development, you're going to have family, you're going to become socialized into different religions, groups, political parties, you name it. And all of these things start to take space within your own identity and start to become, for some people, more important than the human that they're standing and looking at, right? And so the thinking here is if you can get back to that point with anyone you encounter, no matter the beliefs, no matter how opposed you may be to them, of we are humans and we can solve this, then you have that ability to reframe that conflict and think about it differently. Conflict starts with knowing yourself. In my life, when I'm in conflict, you ask that ATIA question on the Reddit threads or Dear Abby back in the day, I often find that I am in fact the asshole, okay? And it's not intentional. It is that my desires, my ego, my wants in this situation, I'm being forceful. That's kind of the nature of my personality. And so I have to be cognizant of that. We all have to be cognizant of that. And you have to understand yourself and how you interact with others. There are so many ways social sciences and psychology has taught us now to do self-assessments, to learn about our individual styles, our preferences, the way that we interact with other people. And the more you can understand that, the more you can then critically turn your reason to yourself to say, what is my role in this conflict? And it can help you to then interact with others to try to get things solved. Now, there are some conflicts that are extremely difficult. We also grow up with trauma, and we grow up being taught that we have dogmatic beliefs that cannot be violated. And those get in the way of people being able to talk. And then there are, fair percentage of the population is actually just predatory. They are only interested in themselves and are only interested in getting their outcomes. This was in one of my first mediation trainings, and I apologize to anyone who's ever tried to teach me anything. My mind tends to wander a little bit, and I doodle. But this talks about the different ways that people interact with each other. And I know it's tough to see, but on the vertical axis, I am more concerned about myself as you go further forward. And then on the horizontal, I'm more concerned about the relationships around me. So the modes of interaction. You all know people, and you are yourself the person at times who's trying to force your way in a situation. And you come in conflict with somebody else. I call that the lonely victory. You may win, but you have not really had the full chance to gain what was there to be gained from this interaction. Because you have simply said, this is the way it should be, and people have gone along. There are people also that spend way too much time accommodating. And if this is you, you need to learn setting boundaries, especially with someone who is always forcing. These people tend to pair up. And that causes a lot of individual conflict. The person that always wants their way is going to look for someone that's always going to give them their way. And that can only last for so long. So interpersonally, that's a thing. Politically, societally, we all know how this can be a problem, right? So the other thing you can do with someone who's showing force is you can avoid them. Often you do have to just get away from a situation where someone is not willing to respect your perspective. And then you've got in the middle somewhere compromise. That's kind of the give and take, the zero-sum game. You know, we're going to divide this pizza. I want to get as many pieces as I want, however we can negotiate that. What I really want to talk about, though, is cooperation and collaboration. First thing to understand is what you want, how much pizza you want, is your position. But what is your interest? Are you hungry? Do you need half the pizza? Do you want to just make sure it's fair, that everybody should have the same amount of pizza? You know, and if you really think about all these things, like, well, maybe I just actually want one piece. I don't need to put my foot down and go for two, and maybe we can find something interesting to do with the rest of the pizza if we don't both need half of it. But again, by examining interest rather than positions, you have the opportunity to create superior solutions. So this illustrates cooperation and collaboration. These are different things. You can cooperate with someone that you do not share beliefs with. You can cooperate with someone who may be opposed to you in some drastic, fundamental way. But you've decided you're going to come together for a common purpose. Or even that you're just going to come together to allow each of you to pursue your own purposes and not get in each other's way. Okay? That can all be cooperation. And it can be fostered if you think about ways to do it. On the collaborative side, this is relationship building. This is community building. This is sharing of visions, sharing of opinions, having the ability to interact and change each other's minds. I do sometimes become very analytical, very atomized. And so I drew this up through my thinking as the way this process works. Different people, different groups have their own proposals about a particular problem they may face, and then counters. When you then mutually, with respect for each other, examine your interests, you can start to get at what is underlying. What is the reason that we're each taking these positions? That then allows you to synthesize maybe a new position or a new set of interests that may accommodate both. And then you can go back through this process of revising your proposals and counterproposals. And I would argue that if you're in a healthy organization or a healthy system, this process is going to happen in a circle. It's going to happen with continuous improvement, continuous ability for each of you to see each other's positions here. So I brought some coffee mugs in the back. I'll admit a selfish reason. I saw a lot of disposable coffee mugs going out of this place. So I brought some so that you can grab one, take it home, wash it before you use it, and bring it back. And so they have the words reason able printed on them. And here's what that means to me. What that means to me is we are, many of us self-professed, adept at using reason to solve our problems. To be reasonable, or to be able to use reason in dialogue with others, there are some things that have to occur. And again, when you think of reason, maybe the logos as the Roman or Greek philosophers thought of it, it is that process of dialogue where collectively you uncover the truth, right? But it is in dialogue with another. So you have to start with taking and honoring the perspective of the other. You don't have to adopt it, but you do at least have to recognize what it is and try to understand where that person is coming from. Then, understand your own motivations. Know thyself. From there, it's a commitment to objective truth. This one, as we all know, it can get very problematic. But it is a process of, if you are personally committed to truth in the process of dialogue, and you remain committed to it, you may not resolve the truth in that process. But you have the potential, if you're being open to the other, at least to resolve the problem, all right? Then really, this isn't something that's innate to any of us. You know, we have to learn some of these skills. There are great tools and opportunities available to learn collaborative problem-solving skills. And importantly for me, I'm a very logical person. I'm not based and run on emotion. So for me, I have to be cognizant of, am I paying attention to the needs and emotions of the other person? And I have to, the best way I can approach that is logically. And you know, in my experience and from what I've been able to develop so far, it really does make a difference in being able to bring people together and bridge divides. So one thing I'll throw out, I'm on a mission this year to solve 100 random problems that people may have. So I've been volunteering at small claims court and bringing people who've sued each other together into a room and saying, let's work this out. I've been finding other opportunities. This is not something I'm charging people for. If you have a conflict in your life and you want to just bring a third party in to help you try to solve it, I'm willing to do it. I'm literally looking for opportunities to find people in conflict and try to move past it. Okay? All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, I love this idea. I find it so interesting that you're like, oh, I'm really good at doing this with so many people except you. Like my family. Sorry, family. All right, so thank you for the mugs and the cups or the travelers or whatever we want to call them. If you guys want to use those here, you can. I'll let you wash them in our sink. I don't mind. You can go back there. No one will yell at you. I say that out loud because sometimes it's like, oh, I can't go back there. We don't care. It's fine. It's just a sink. There's soap, whatever you want. Oh, hey, update. Sadly, our main speaker cannot be here today. But fear not, the amazing Roger Pick, Professor Emeritus, is here today. He will be talking to us about artificial intelligence after the break. So we do have an update from Mr. David Ree about the AV team. He's going to briefly tell us what is amazing happenings in the AV team world, and then we're going to have some coffee.
I'm David. I'm a board member. I help with the AV team. I'm the liaison more than anybody who's like really in charge. I mean, the people that are in charge are Terry and Jason. They kind of run things. I'm sure you've seen them running around doing stuff in the morning and that kind of thing, setting up all the mics, all the stuff back there. Jenna's back there right now with Ethan. Amy often runs the camera. Is that Storm? I can't see. I got some glare. Okay, that's Storm back there. Yeah, Storm's running the camera today. So a really good group of people. They do everything really well, and they're a lot more organized than I am. But we do often need help. I think the places that we need help most is somebody who's willing to commit to learning the sound. We do have 3 people right now, or 1 learning, that's Will, and Terry and JJ know the sound very well. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, we can use a volunteer in that area. Also in the back where we stream to YouTube and Facebook Live, I think that's something else we could use another person on, just in case people are sick or can't do it or want a little break rather than doing it every other weekend. So right now we just basically have two, but Ethan's learning that job, but we could use one more. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, if you're interested in that kind of thing, it's a great team. They'll work with your schedule, and they're very knowledgeable, and they'll teach you what you need to learn. Is there anything else we need? Run the camera. Yeah, we could use somebody for the camera too. That's a really easy job. A lot of times even it's set up for you. You just show up because Amy can't help herself. She'll walk in the door and just set it all up. So, but we do need somebody there too in the camera, and that's the easy job. Really, if you just want to participate and do something with the AV, that's a good place to start, really. And then you can maybe ease your way into other things if you want. That's it. Thank you.
All right. See, another gateway to volunteering. And then we'll be like, bam, you're a board member. Ha ha, we got you. All right. So with that, coffee break time. Ha ha, yay. All right, we love our coffee breaks. So we have 20 minutes to go say hello to someone new. If you're like, hey, I haven't seen your face before. My name is this. What is your name? Try it out. See how it feels. Try a new mug. Maybe wash it first. Lick it. I don't know. Whatever feels good to you. We'll see you back in 20 minutes. Please take it with you. Oh, you want me to not be, what are we doing? Oh, I didn't click it, I'm sorry. We want to look at Holly, not the clock. Gear, take it to someone who does, like a teacher or a small child or anyone that's not this building. Please and thank you. Okay. Or, hospitals. I don't know. I'm looking at Kim because we work at the hospital. So whatever. Anyone that's not here. So again, for those of you who were not here before the coffee break, Roger will be speaking for us momentarily. But before, we have more music from Holly. So Holly, please come play for us again.
This song is called Alchemy, and it's a topic that's been on my mind for a couple of years, and just got through with the Folk Alliance International here in Kansas City, and their theme was about alchemy and the transformative force. So, all right, here we go. Today's a good day for a little alchemy, if you ask me. It's a good day for taking time to play. It's a good day for taking time to find acceptance. It's a good day to wash away the pain. It's a good day for a little alchemy, if you ask me. It's a good day to let yourself be free. It's a good day to give yourself a little present. It's a good day to see the irony of our stories. And tell me just, what are we doing here? Revolving doors and reruns on the reality TV. Just, what are we doing here? With parallels and broken bells and our liberties. Just, what are we doing here? Just getting by with alibis. Are we ready to see? Are we ready to see? Today's a good day for a little alchemy, if you ask me. It's a good day to wear your heart upon your sleeve. It's a good day to be your own best company. It's a good day to set your captives free. It's a good day for a little alchemy, if you ask me. It's a good day to let it all unwind. It's a good day, put on the lid, let it simmer. It's a good day to finally realize we'll be taking time to redefine matters of the mind, and we'll realign the grand design. What you seek, you'll find. It's alchemy, transformation you can't see. It's alchemy, purified flame of conscience. Alchemy, transformations you can't see. It's alchemy, purified flame of conscience. Today's a good day for a little alchemy, if you ask me. It's a good day to take a look into the mirror. It's a good day to reinvent the smile you're wearing. It's a good day to be the one you love. It's a good day for a little alchemy, if you ask me. It's a good day to be the only one in costume. It's a good day to celebrate your life missions. It's a good day to dance the night away. We'll be taking time to redefine matters of the mind. We'll realign the grand design. What you seek, you'll find. It's alchemy, transformation you can't see. It's alchemy, purifying flame of conscience. Alchemy, transformation you can't see. It's alchemy, purifying flame of conscience.
I'm going to start playing that every morning when I get ready. Like, okay, come on, self, we can do this. Okay, I love that one. Thank you. All righty. So, Roger Pick, man, in like a champ to save the day. Okay, so I'm going to say a couple things about Roger with this amazing thing. He just, guys, you just had this ready. Can you believe that? Just bam, ready to go. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, like artificial intelligence, what are we going to talk about? First of all, a couple fun things about Roger. Guilty pleasures. He loves Weird Al Yankovic. Who loves Weird Al? Please raise your hand. Okay, almost everybody. If your hand wasn't in the air, it's because obviously you don't know about Weird Al, duh. Guilty pleasures, obviously chocolate. Mystery Science Theater, Seven Ghoulie. I don't know what that is, so you're going to have to tell us all about it. Maybe not right now, but later. And warning label, in spite of appearances to the contrary, he is neither Santa Claus nor Jerry Garcia. So we'll work on that, okay? And then Roger will be giving a 3,000-foot overview of artificial intelligence, and this topic was chosen due to an Oasis community member's request. So how accommodating of you, Roger. So Roger's got the headset. I'm gonna let you keep that bad boy. Oh, hold on, the thing I'm supposed to tell everybody. Where's my warning, Jason? I don't have it memorized. This is designed to generate conversation, not a forum for debate. Be nice. And maybe we'll ask questions if we have time. We'll see.
Well, good morning. So this is to have some idea of how up-to-date this talk is actually going to be. This is what I used when I started using computers. It's an unpunched punch card, an IBM card, 80-column card. And also, when I prepared this talk, Denise asked me to be part of a group of people here at Oasis who are ready to give a talk at a moment's notice, just in case a speaker has a flat tire or forgets or something like that. And I prepared this talk back when we were meeting at UMKC, and I was ready to go with the whiteboards there in Royal Hall. And it never occurred to me to update the talk. Sorry about that. So again, an Oasis member came up to me once a couple years ago and said, "Could you talk about artificial intelligence?" I said, "Wow, I guess I could." And so here I am. So I'll start with a definition. So artificial intelligence is the use of computing technology to accomplish tasks that would require intelligence on the part of a person if they were doing that task. So I want to make clear, the computer's not intelligent, the computer's not thinking, there's no understanding. In some sense, the term artificial intelligence is a misnomer that's misleading, gives you the idea of things going on that are not going on. You know, the machine's not thinking. It's doing something that looks like what you would be doing if you were doing the same thing. You would be thinking, machine's not thinking, it's doing something else. A more informal definition is, say, artificial intelligence use of heuristic techniques as opposed to algorithmic, and I'll explain both those in a minute, to solve problems. So heuristic techniques are problem solving using rules of thumb, and they often work, but aren't guaranteed to work. Whereas an algorithmic technique is a finite sequence of unambiguous instruction. I had to look this up. Algorithmic instruction is finite sequences of unambiguous instructions that will eventually terminate in an answer. So doing your books with TurboTax, algorithmic. Heuristic, for example, a non-playing character in a game. And in fact, so it does something that may seem reasonable, but you don't actually want it to be perfect. Think of a game. You really want the non-playing character not to be perfect, because if it does the perfect action in opposition to you, it's always going to win, and the game's no fun. So artificial intelligence is a collection of techniques that are kind of nifty to use in situations where there's not something better and where you can tolerate mistakes. not a good choice for a life or death kind of decision, for example. Another, let me shift for a moment and talk a little bit about my own background with artificial intelligence. So, first of all, I took a class in artificial intelligence at Purdue University around 1980. And I was trying to remember what we did in that class, and we were doing robot planning. So it was a class, the professor's name was Fu, and if the number of available moves was small enough, I could construct a figurative tree inside the computer's memory where all possible sequences of moves that a robot might take. So one move might be raise your arm, lower your arm, raise this arm, lower this arm, move a step forward, move a step backward. You take all possible combinations of those and see which one terminates in the state that you want the robot to end up in. And that's what I learned in that class. We programmed it in a language called Pascal that I don't think anybody uses anymore. But we would actually, in real life, using computers at that time, the robot had so many possible actions that it was not possible to actually explore every possible sequence of moves. And so you would have to use heuristics to figure out which possible moves to explore and which ones not to explore. And so sometimes that resulted in the best solution being overlooked. Again, heuristics, you tolerate some mistakes because the problem is so hard. Now, where artificial intelligence has exploded lately is in an area called machine learning. That's the hot thing that's worked well. What I did as a professor, in fact, I made tenure on this, was an area called expert systems, where we would try to capture the knowledge of a human expert, encode it, and then let the computer kind of simulate what that person would do. And I got some papers written, they got published, and I got tenure all as well. And then expert systems it reached a point where it just wasn't progressing. It turned out to be a dead end. It was fairly successful, but like disco, it was big back then, but then it faded away. And so then I moved on to other things. And this interest in machine learning has exploded more or less without me. I do have a little bit of history. In 1959 is the first example of machine learning I'm aware of. And it was a guy named Arthur Samuel who was from Emporia, Kansas. And he was an employee of IBM. And he encoded an IBM 701, which would have about the amount of computer power that's in the key fob for your car, and about the same amount of memory. He came up with a clever way of representing a position in the game of checkers within the limited amount of memory in that computer, and he came up with a way of determining from a given position all possible legal moves. And then what he did is he would have the program would more or less choose a random move. And every position it encountered would choose a random move. But then it kept track of what move it picked in every situation, and it kept track of whether it went on to win that game or not. And if it lost the game, it would try a different move. If it won the game, it would repeat it. And then he had it play itself with two different computers at the same time against each other. I don't know how long, probably a few weeks. And it reached a level where it was described in the literature as being the level of a competent amateur in checkers. But it did learn. He didn't teach it how to play checkers. It played itself. It got better. There was feedback. So this is the crucial thing about machine learning today. there's feedback, and there's automated learning, so it improves. It's not learning, again, kind of a misnomer. It's not truly learning, it's just keeping track of something, and there's some feedback, and it gets better. So, how's machine learning done today? Well, as I understand it, and I've been retired for 5 years, 6 years, and it's moving fast. But the way machine learning started was about 30 years ago. Some people said, you know, the brain learns pretty well. Let's try to simulate our idea of how a brain works in computer memory and see how that works. And it works remarkably well, better than you would have any right to believe it would work in my mind. So the idea is you would have a lot of what they call artificial neurons, and each neuron would collect a set of inputs. It would multiply the inputs by weights, a different one for each input, add them together, and if that exceeded a threshold, it would send out a signal. It would produce an output. And if it didn't exceed that threshold, the output would be 0. And you connect those neurons in a way that I would show you if I had a whiteboard. I'm not even going to try to really describe it, but you would have an input layer, an output layer, and intermediate layers in between, and there's connections between them. And the idea is the inputs go through, they multiply by these weights, and eventually an output is produced. Okay, so what? Well, the next thing is let's give it a set of data where we know the answer. What these inputs should make this output, and let's train that network by changing those weights and changing those thresholds in an algorithm I don't have any understanding of, and let's go through a set of examples, training, and then a bit of a misnomer, but training the computer, adjusting those weights, and going through the data over and over and over again. This is processor-intensive work. I did some work with a friend back around 1992 where we were looking at supermarket data, so scanner data from supermarkets. We had a bunch of data from a market where we had data about customer purchases in one category. And we were looking at an established technique called vector autoregression that would do a forecast of what should happen in this category. So you've got a supermarket category, you've got some data. What are the sales going to be next week? What are the sales going to be next week if I lower the price on a product? And you can build these vector autoregression models that do that. And then we took the same data that we had used to calibrate these vector autoregression models and ran it through a neural network at the time. We did it on an IBM 286 processor, and it ran for about a week before it was finished, before the training set kind of stabilized and had an answer. But then here was the thing that amazed us, is it came up with something that was produced forecasts just as good as our vector autoregression model. And what I really, looking back at my career, I should have stayed in that area. We had this indication. This was a really good technique. We should have explored it further, and yet, for some reason, I went on. I can't remember why. I went on and did something else. But what was cool about this, vector autoregression requires a trained statistician. The average person isn't going to be able to come up with a vector autoregression model. You need to know what you're doing. But the machine learning model, all you need to know is how to type Go. You got equally good results. And this gives rise to how people are a little bit worried that artificial intelligence may impact employment. Whoa, I could get rid of all these statisticians and replace them. Well, maybe, maybe not. Because actually these marketing models of this type that we were producing, like for a supermarket category manager, or a brand manager at a consumer products firm. The purpose of the model, yeah, it produced forecasts, but the real purpose of the model was to create understanding for the marketing manager. The forecasts were a byproduct on the way to creating that understanding so the manager could do something smart and competitive, taken in their marketing mix. The neural network is kind of a black box. It works, but you don't understand why. And so it creates a level of understanding. It creates an answer, but not really with a level of understanding as you get by creating the statistical model. So there's advantages, disadvantages. So what's going on today with artificial intelligence? Lots. Machine learning is the hot topic. I want to, so you train it, and then if you're smart, you need to test it. So say, for example, I'm a bank, and I want to put all my loan officers out of work. I want to replace them with a computer. And so I've got a lot of data. I've got all the loan applications I've ever gotten. Let's code that data. And then for every loan, we know whether or not it was approved. And for those that are approved, we know whether or not it was performed. Did they pay it back or did they not? But the thing that's missing from the data is we don't know what would have happened if we had approved the data. If we approved the loan for someone who we turned down. We don't know what would have happened. So there's a missing piece from that data. Nonetheless, we could train it. And then if we're smart about it, we leave half the data out and apply the resulting neural network to the test data that we left out and see if it still performs, because we don't want to accidentally capitalize on chance. If I use all the available data, historical data, with all the answers, I'll get a neural network, but I don't really know whether it's any good, and sometimes things just happen due to capitalization on chance. And so it's better if you leave some out and then test it and see if you get similar quality of results. And then you say, okay, maybe I can trust this. Here's an example where the data was excellent. So when Google Translate was getting started, they grabbed all the documents at the United Nations. So the United Nations has 6 official languages: Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish. And think about the stakes involved in the kinds of issues the United Nations deals with. These are probably the highest quality translations of work ever, any place, because they through resources, they hired the best to make these translations. So if you have pairs of, if you have text now in one of these 6 United Nations languages, and you want to translate it to another one of these 6, you are going to get a very high quality translation because it was trained with extremely high quality data. What about, well, now I looked at Google Translate. I could even, I think I saw that I can translate English to Klingon. Probably not. I would suspect that pairs of languages outside those 6 would be lower quality, but maybe good enough. It's better than, trying to. I can remember being in Shanghai, and I missed an appointment with a guy that I was supposed to meet, and luckily, I had written down where I needed to go next. And I handed it to a taxi driver who just spoke no English, and I speak no Shanghainese nor Mandarin. So I handed this piece of paper. He looks at it, nods, and off we went. Today I would use my phone, and it would probably be good enough to survive. Let me give some other examples of machine learning. The quality of the training data is crucial. There was an example a number of years ago where a medical school in England wanted to automate their admissions of physicians in training, to admitting people to medical school. And they used their historical data, because it was a lot of labor. They would read these people's applications. It took a lot of time. Hey, let's try to automate this. They ran it through this machine learning algorithm. They had a resulting model, and then they tested it, and they discovered it was racist. The historical data was racist. The machine learning captured that racism, and so they, thank God, discovered that and didn't put it into production. How many of these things didn't catch that? It's a worry. Another example I'm aware of was in the United States military. They were using aircraft surveillance, overhead photography, and that's a labor-intensive process where an analyst looks at these photographs and says, what am I seeing here? And is it important? And for initial training with artificial intelligence, they just wanted to say, let's see if we can teach the computer to identify photographs that include tanks. And so they went through these photographs, and some had tanks, some didn't. And they came up with a model that worked pretty well. In fact, extremely well at identifying the photos that had tanks. And then they went to new photographs, and it didn't work. And when they started investigating, it turned out in the training set, for some odd reason, every single photo that had been taken that included a tank was taken on a cloudy day. And so they trained a neural network that was really good at identifying photos of a cloudy day. And tanks had nothing to do with what it learned. So the training set is crucial. I think I overlooked saying this. When I did that work 30 years ago, where we used the IBM 286, it took like a week for it to learn. The training time, it takes a lot of time, because it goes through it. Does this input produce this output? No. Let's adjust our weights and our thresholds. Let's go through it again. Does it produce it? No. Let's make an adjustment. No. You do it millions of times. You do it a lot of times. The amount of computer time that will bring most computers to their knees. But here's a business model that I think works. Suppose you are selling cloud computer time, like Amazon Web Services does, Microsoft does with Azure, Google does as well, and others. So cloud computing, the business model is businesses don't want to pay for the fixed cost of having a data center, especially since they're not using it all the time. They want to convert that to a variable cost. So we'll contract with Amazon Web Services. We'll buy computer time as we need it, and as we don't need it, we don't pay anything. It's really great if you're a startup and you don't have a lot of capital to start with, and you also don't know how fast you're going to grow. So just let Amazon just provide it. So Amazon has to have a whole lot of extra capacity just in case all their customers get busy all at once. So, because they're 5 minutes, thank you. So what you do now is you do the machine learning, but you only do it when you don't need the capacity to serve your customers. So in some sense, for someone who's a seller of web services, cloud services, the power for the machine learning, which again takes a lot of processing power, it's essentially free for them, because if they don't sell it, it's not really worth anything. So they just could run through this over and over again. So A nice example lately is this generative artificial intelligence. So Google has historically been going through the entire internet. Let's just do that again, and then let's run it through our machine learning algorithm and see what we get. And again, Chat AI has done the same thing, and there's several different competing models. One that blew my mind is, I can't remember who did it, but someone grabbed like all the literature of art history, everything a curator or historian has ever written about a painting, and put that into a machine learning model, and then the output, the trained output, are the actual paintings. And so now you can say, I'd like a picture of sunflowers in the style of Chagall or something like that. And it comes out with something, and it blows my mind that works. It seems to work better than it deserves. But as long as you can tolerate that it's maybe not right. And we've probably all seen examples where what they call AI hallucinations, where the AI, you create something and it generates a Trump fact, something that's simply, obviously not true, but it just throws it in there in the middle of its output. And you don't really know why, it just does. So that's something you have to tolerate. But if you've got good training sets, you can probably get a good machine learning situation and create something that can be useful. You're very likely to ask for my opinion about employment, so let me say a couple things about that. I think in the next 10 or 20 years, there will be individuals who will be hurt badly by artificial intelligence. But as far as widespread impact on the economy, the history of major technological innovations, think of electricity, think of the web, think of enterprise systems. Typically, it's 10 or 20 years before these things actually have a widespread macroeconomic impact. And what seems to be going on is that you get the technology and you start to use it, but you don't really use it all that effectively. You have to make complementary investments in complementary technologies and in organizational learning and employee training to take advantage of it. And it takes 10 or 20 years, believe it or not, for that to happen. As an example, think of electricity. So mills used to be powered by mostly water. And so the whole layout of a mill was all about, you have a water wheel, and then you have an axle going through the plant, and you have all kinds of gears and pulleys to distribute the power to all the different machines in the mill. So when electricity became available, the first thing they did with it was just use the electricity to run an electric motor to turn that same crankshaft. And they still had all the machines attached to that by pulleys and gears and so on. And so the electricity made the plant run better, but not that much better. But then slowly, plant managers realized, hey, we can rearrange the factory to optimize the flow of product through the factory, because electricity allows us to put the machine any place. And that's when electricity started to have a real impact on manufacturing. The web was around for a while before it really exploded and took off. Enterprise computing was around, 3 minutes? Was around for a while. Wrap up. So these things, it takes a while, but people will be. I have watched wave after wave of automation. I've read about it, like the Luddites and the looms. In the 60s, when I was a kid, they worried about factory automation. But what seems to happen is the economy shifts. Individuals get hurt, some get hurt very badly, but the overall economy shifts into doing something else. We're not all out of jobs because the auto factories and the steel factories automated back in the 1960s and 70s. And I think a similar thing will happen too. Overall, we're not going to go to a 10-hour work week because of artificial intelligence, cool as that sounds. And I don't think overall employment will be, but certain individuals will be hurt badly. I just can't predict who. I wish I could buy stock and know who. I'm not good at that. Thank you for your attention, and
All right.
is there time for?
We do have time for a few questions. Maybe not about the original punch card. You know, I think those might stay digital for a while. Give me a second. I'm going to bring you the mic. Please make sure your question is a question, not a story. Here we go.
I don't remember maybe some of the details of this, but a recent example of what artificial intelligence could do was, I think, it wrote a story about something it was asked to do, and then it referenced, as reference material, it referenced books that it just made up. It just, they didn't exist. How did that happen?
Don't really know how that happened, but it happens. Lawyers have used AI to write briefs, and it'll cite cases that don't exist. So that's kind of an illusion. So you need to be careful, at least at the present state of the art.
All right, check your sources that AI gives you, I guess.
Do you have any knowledge of a movement that will kind of oversee, what am I trying to, make it illegal or something for people, college students or students in high school to use AI for their papers? Is there going to be any regulation?
I think some people are thinking about it.
Nothing official yet, I guess.
You mentioned that some of your work in the past you considered a dead end. With the machine learning based stuff now, the large language models, image generation, video generation, if the goal was artificial sentience, do you think that this is also a dead end, or that this is part of the path to get to artificial sentience?
I think that's a dead end. I don't think it'll. You might get something that might look a little bit like what someone who's self-aware would do, but is it really sentient? Maybe we leave that to philosophers. To me, it's just machine instructions. There's not something that understands itself. Seems unlikely to me. I think the use of the word intelligence is unfortunate. I think it misleads people in how they think about it.
Okay, I think we do need to wrap up. I'm sorry, if you have another question, you can touch base with Roger afterwards. I will say, though, if anything is sentient like my Roomba, it's not looking too good. She's real stupid. Delightful, but stupid, yes. Roger, thank you so much. Another round of applause. Thank you so much. And all just off the fly in his back pocket. And for what it's worth, I'll haul that whiteboard up here for you next time, Roger. You just let me know. Okay, we did questions. Holly, we're going to have Holly come up one more time. I would like to point out while she's getting ready, we do have Holly's Venmo information up here. If you guys are in a Venmo mood today. We also have an old-fashioned cash bucket. So if you have cash weighing down your pockets, Holly will take care of that for you, okay? And Holly was going to tell us a little bit about any upcoming shows, if she has anything going on in the nearabouts. Holly, tell us a little bit about those shows.
Okay, so I have two coming up this month. Next Friday, my group Folk in the Flow will be in Lawrence at a place called the North Side Social, North Lawrence, 7 to 9. But then we are out here in Kansas City at the Chartreuse Saloon at 10 to midnight on Friday night. I believe it's March 30th. So.
Okay, so something for the early people and then also something for the late people. That's always helpful because I'm like, oh, we're going to midnight. Okay. But hey, 7 to 10 is not too bad. All right, so One more round of applause for Holly, everybody, please.
Thank you. This last song is one that I have out on streaming. It's called Coming Down. And this is just a really special song to me about as we come back and forth across the country, doing some vacations, all of the importance of coming home and coming back to ourselves here. We're coming down, down the mountain. We're looking out over the canyon. Can you see the faces etched in eternal graces, cornerstones of ages, all along the road that leads us home? We're coming down for a landing. We're looking out over a painted sky. I can see their faces filled with anticipation, wrapped in the comfort of home. We're coming down for the grounding. We're coming round with understanding. Can you see the faces, colors of all the races, building the rainbow bridge of hope? We're coming down to the center. We're waking up for a grand adventure. Can you feel the changes beyond all expectation? We're living this transformation, freedom to know that we are home. We're coming down. We're coming down. We're coming down. We're coming down. Coming down. We're coming down. Coming down. Coming down. We're coming down. Coming down, coming down. Thank you.
Again, so beautiful. Holly, thank you again for playing for us. We hope to see you back again very soon. And again, you're always welcome to just come hang out with us. Even if we don't get to hear you play, we'd still love to see you. And I'm super curious. So can you tell us really quickly, I don't know how much time we got. Can you tell us just like real briefly about just a little of the music therapy you do? What would that look like for a patient of yours?
Okay, so it's been a few years since I've done music therapy, but I used to work at Truman Hospital. I used
Okay.
to work in behavioral health. And the terminology is basically music is a tool to reach a non-musical goal. And so that's the basis of music therapy. In more recent years, I've added sound bowl therapy as well, and tuning forks. And so here, instead of using music, we're using sound and vibration to reach non-musical goals. So it's very individualized, but music is universal for sure.
Amazing, very cool. Well, who knows? Maybe someone will have a music need that you can meet. Okay, perfect. Holly, well, thank you again for coming to sing for us today and play for us. Sing and play. Again, send Holly your love via Venmo. You can also send you can send us Venmo love as well. We included this Venmo QR code for us. We have them scattered kind of throughout our lobby as well. We've got them near our coffee station and I think the merch station if you're looking for them out in the lobby. If you'd like to look on our website, we also have the kcoasis.org/donate if you'd like to become a recurring donor. And if you'd like to donate your time, we also have regular volunteers that go to Micah Ministries every Monday night to serve on that team of volunteers for the Micah Ministries. They do dinner, mostly serving dinner, and then also in the clothing room every Monday, 5:15 to 7:15. Let one of us know if you want more information about that, and we can get you in touch with those folks. We are having lunch today as a group. If you'd like to join us, we're going to do the String Collective on the plaza. There's some parking pretty close right next to the restaurant. The chef-driven food hall, so they have lots of different options. So you and whoever you're driving with do not have to eat at the same place. It's kind of nice. You can choose different things from different locations, and then we can continue the conversation, whether it's about artificial intelligence or music or anything that you choose. Who's got the best green on today? Whatever you want to talk about, that's going to be right down the road on Warnell Road. Warnell Road? Yeah, I did say that twice. Okay. And I'll come back to this slide to leave the address up there for you guys in just a moment. Before we head out, I would ask that you guys just kind of do a quick survey of your area, make sure you got all your cups and mugs and jackets. I tend to leave my jacket there for a second. And then I think we do have a good set of volunteers for today to get everything cleaned up, but just kind of survey your area, make sure you have all your belongings so we can pitch in to keep our place clean. And come back next Sunday. We'd love to see you again for our featured presentation regarding women's history, and musician Aaron Eads will be here. I think Ethan's presenting for us next week about computers. So we're going to have artificial intelligence today and computers next week. So, alrighty, guys, we will see you next time.